My maid Qing Mo once gave a beggar a purse full of coins, and everyone praised her generosity. Yet the very next day, an imperial decree arrived from the palace. My engagement was annulled. The daughter of the Su family, Suanian, was condemned as morally corrupt and sentenced to a lifetime of confinement in a temple. I am Suanian. As the eunuch dragged me out the door, Qing Mo leaned close to my ear and whispered with a sly smile. Miss, in that purse was your erotic painting. By now it has spread through the brothels. You can never become the noble consort of the Prince of Jin anymore. If I cannot become it, could a mere maid like you ever take my place? She sneered, I am not the only one who wants you dead. Guess who else? Her eyes turned toward the main hall, where 3 figures stood, my father, face filled with fury, my mother, eyes heavy with grief, and my cousin, Su Yunshu, her brows faintly furrowed. They were the ones closest to me. Who was harming me? After the great fire, I was reborn, returning to that spring outing. The breeze was gentle, the silk curtains of the carriage fluttered with a sharp sound. At that very moment, I awoke. Qing Mo widened her watery almond eyes, asking with false concern. Miss, are you unwell? Shall I massage your shoulders? She was dressed in the finest silk, her hair styled in the most fashionable blossom bun of the capital. With her charming smile, she looked nothing like a maid, more like a young lady of a noble house. In the past, I had always treated her warmly, never regarding her as a servant. She loved painting, so I invited a master to teach her. She loved jewelry, so each year I gifted her a set. Even in tailoring the seasonal garments, I never allowed her share to be lacking. Bright silk, moonflower skirts, her wardrobe outshone that of many noble daughters in the capital. Yet she was a venomous snake, forever cold. In her heart, she schemed for my death. I never understood, what good would that bring her? Qing Mo, I recall you always carry herbal balm with you. Give it here, I only wish to smell it. Her eyes flickered uneasily. She quickly replied. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring it today. Only loose coins remain in my purse, meant to buy sweets for the younger maids. She tugged at her robe, hiding the ornaments at her waist. A moment later, a beggar would stop our carriage. Without hesitation, Qing Mo would throw the purse out, basking in everyone's praise of her generosity. Then she would pout at me, saying sweetly, Miss, that was my monthly allowance. Will you secretly make it up to me? Her so-called cherished Qing Mo was already plotting my death. In my previous life, she whispered by my ear. I am not the only one who wants you dead. Guess who else? At that moment in the hall stood my father, my grieving mother, and my cousin Su Yunshu. Qing Mo's gaze lingered on each of them, filled with fawning flattery. A maid this vicious, who had sent her? The thought chilled me to the bone. Seize Qing Mo. Bind her tightly. Return to the estate at once. It took no small effort to restrain her. The younger maids, not understanding, rushed forward when they saw her weeping pitifully. Miss, Qing Mo did nothing wrong. Please spare her. It's only a box of herbal balm, not worth such anger. So now Qing Mo had become the mistress in their eyes. Yes, it was I who had been too indulgent, allowing her arrogance to grow unchecked. I bound her with my own hands, tore the purse from her waist, and searched her body. There I found another identical purse, embroidered with auspicious cloud patterns. The one at her waist held coins. The one hidden inside contained nothing but erotic paintings, each inscribed with my name, Su family's daughter Onion in the Chamber of Desire, silk robe among blossoms, spring day in the pavilion. She had long prepared to destroy me. I slapped her 3 times, hard. Shameless wretch. Did you paint yourself in these indecent scenes to please some secret lover? You have ruined the reputation of this household, nearly dragging down the innocent maids as well. At my words, the younger maids' eyes changed. They fell to their knees, crying. Miss, spare us. We did not know she was capable of such filth. In this world, a maiden's virtue is her life. If Qing Mo's obscene paintings were exposed, all the daughters of this house would be disgraced. The maids who once pitied her now looked upon her with disgust. Ching-mo, gagged, could only sob and whimper. Before her, I opened the incense burner and burned those filthy works to ash, the white smoke drifting before her eyes. Her gaze was bloodshot, fixed on me. She spat out the gag and sneered coldly. "Miss, do you think you can still return to the estate?" The horse screamed. The reins pulled taut, the carriage halted. From outside the curtain came the trembling voice of the driver. "Miss, the horse is wounded. We cannot go any further." Up ahead was Wanrong Manor. "Why don't we head there first?" someone suggested. My whole body went cold. Someone wanted me utterly ruined today. Layer upon layer of schemes overlapped, tightening like a net. Everyone around me had already been bought. Who was the one orchestrating all of this? Wanrong Manor belonged to Princess Pingning. Every spring, when the crabapple blossoms bloomed, she would hold a grand banquet, both to enjoy the flowers and to play matchmaker for the young noble's sons. My marriage to Prince Jean had been personally pushed forward by her hand. All that was left was to wait until I turned 16, when the royal family would come to escort me into the palace. Now, only 3 months remained until the wedding. Prince Jean currently held the upper hand in the struggle for succession, basking in the emperor's favor. Those consumed by jealousy could no longer wait, they wanted me dead. The thought made me let out a cold laugh. We're not going anywhere. We'll stay here and see who dares act against me. There was someone determined to force me to go there. That was all the more reason I would not. The coachman's eyes flickered, exchanging a look with Ching-mo. He made an excuse about needing to relieve himself behind a tree. I pulled the hairpin from my hair and drove it hard into his arm. Move again, and it won't just be your arm that's ruined. The coachman and the maids trembled, not daring to breathe too loudly. I remembered when I was 10. My mother had taken me to a banquet outside the estate. A vicious dog in the household lunged and caught her skirt. She collapsed in fright, and just as the beast was about to spring for her face, I had drawn my hairpin, just as I did now, and stabbed straight into its throat. Blood spattered across her face. The dog died. My mother fainted in terror. When she awoke, the gentleness in her eyes was gone, replaced by revulsion. How cruel, Onion, terrifyingly cruel. From then on, her gaze held a trace of disdain. What kind of daughter kills at the slightest provocation? The Su family is refined and scholarly, we cannot raise a wild child like you. She was only a year younger. Learn from her, study the women's classics, the rules of conduct. My mother would rather endure my tears and despair than accept a daughter whose hands had been stained with blood to save her. I never understood. That year, my cousin Su Yunshu lost both parents. She traveled thousands of miles to seek refuge with the Su family. She wore plain white, fragile and delicate, and the moment she appeared, my mother's long-buried tenderness overflowed. Tears streamed as she embraced her. You poor, pitiful child. Shu, from now on you will be my daughter. Yunshu's eyes reddened as she choked out, Mother. Mother and daughter clung to each other, weeping. Today, on the way to the banquet, my mother and Su Yunshu had gone ahead together in one carriage. Princess Pingning's invitation had been addressed only to me. But Yunshu had cried all night, refusing food and sleep, until my mother's heart softened. She thickened her skin and begged for another invitation. Before leaving, Yunshu had sought me out. Jeej, she corrected herself with a smile, Sister, I heard Prince Jean is the most handsome man in the royal family. She wants to see for herself. You don't mind, do you? Her gaze was full of admiration, yet envy lingered at the edges, woven into every word. My mother immediately pulled her close. How could your sister blame you? Even if she marries Prince Jean, jealousy is forbidden in the royal household. Yunshu is beautiful and gentle, why would she not be worthy of him? Yunshu blushed shyly in my mother's embrace. Was it possible, she was the one who wanted me destroyed? Within the time it takes for one stick of incense to burn, the sound of hoofbeats echoed along the forest path. A troop of riders emerged. The man at the front reined in his horse and called out. The horse was a snow-white divine steed, his robe a deep violet embroidered with gold. The threads glimmered under the sun. A face like jade came into view. It was Prince Jean, the fiancé I had only met once. Since our betrothal, he had sent many invitations to meet. Times had grown more lenient. Young men and women could mix more freely, flower banquets, lantern festivals, polo matches, such things were praised as romantic tales. But my parents never permitted it. My father was stern. The fight for the throne is treacherous. Though Prince Jean is favored now, he is not yet crown prince. If you meet him privately, you'll drag our whole household into the fire. My mother too was anxious. The world treasures a maiden's virtue. If you take the initiative before marriage, you will be seen as unworthy of the royal household. It will stain our family, and even Yunshu's reputation will suffer. A daughter of a noble house must remain dignified. Thus, they refused him in my stead. Yet every festival, Su Yunshu would dress in elegant finery and slip out alone. My mother would laugh, disguising her delight. Yunshu is at the most beautiful age. Of course she should go out and enjoy herself. But to me, she said only, Onion, you are already betrothed. All you must do is wait to be married. What outside is worth your notice? Reborn into this life, I finally understood. Su Yunshu had secretly taken my place, meeting with Prince Jean behind my back. She had never been concerned for me, her aim was to ruin this marriage, to destroy me altogether. So when the nobleman in the violet gold robe asked with courtesy, I lifted my veil, bowed low, and spoke with urgency. This humble daughter, Su Onion, has an urgent matter to report to your highness. I beg you to dismiss those around us. I was Prince Jin's betrothed. A husband and wife's names were bound together. Whatever befell me could not remain unknown to him. If my reputation was ruined, could he still remain untarnished? When even my father, mother, and servants could no longer be trusted, I had no choice but to risk seeking aid from Prince Jean himself. His real name was Chu Zhanlu. His eyes were deep as night. Whenever he looked at someone, his long dark lashes lowered, concealing his thoughts. I kept my composure and said slowly. Even my maidservants and coachmen tried to destroy my reputation today. If they had succeeded, by tomorrow all the capital would be buzzing with slander about me. Even if your highness wished to break the betrothal, would such a scheme not wound you as well, killing 1,000 enemies while harming 800 of your own? I was probing him. Prince Jin's brows knit faintly, a strange light flickering across his face. This prince has never thought of annulling the betrothal. Yet he added, voice low with puzzlement. But your cousin Su Yunshu told me you already had someone in your heart, unwilling to marry into the royal family. Your mother, Madame Su, hinted as well, saying she had found you another match, only the imperial decree came too suddenly, leaving you unable to accept, and so you refused every invitation I sent. Suspicion clouded his gaze. His hands were hidden behind his back, wide violet sleeves caught by the wind. The distance between us seemed to fracture, replaced by something like wounded indignation. It felt as if my heart had been plunged into ice. To secure Su Yunshu's entry into the royal household, my mother had spun lies without hesitation, smearing me, tearing apart my name. She was worthy of Su Yunshu's tearful cries of mother, but not of me, the child who once stood before a rabid hound, blood on my hands, to shield her. A handkerchief appeared before me. Only then did I realize that, unknowingly, my cheeks were wet with tears. Prince Jin's voice dropped lower. If you can place your trust in me, then let the Imperial Secret Guard interrogate Qing Mo and the coachman. There is a flower banquet today, I will take you with me, and we shall see who dares act again. I had no one left to rely on. For this moment, I could only cling to him. Suddenly, Qing Mo broke free from a guard, staggering toward me. She fell to her knees, sobbing. Miss, there is another behind this. Please don't hand me over. At the mere mention of the Imperial Secret Guard, she knocked her head on the ground with desperate thuds, stripped of all arrogance from before. If this maid dares deceive you again, may heaven strike me down, may lightning kill me. She swore, nearly biting her tongue. I kept her by my side. My mother. Su Yunshu. Besides these two venomous snakes, who else lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike? When we arrived at Wanrong Manor, Prince Jean personally lifted the carriage curtain to escort me down. His fingers were long and pale, joints clear as jade, cold and aloof. I placed my hand upon his and stepped out, only to meet two pairs of icy eyes. They belonged to my mother and Su Yunshu. At once, my mother pulled up my sleeve, leading me away from the crowd. Why are you walking with Prince Jean? My mother's voice was sharp. I have told you again and again, before the wedding you must observe propriety. Have my words gone in one ear and out the other? Su Yunshu lifted a small mirror, smoothing her hair. With a coy smile, she plucked a branch of drooping crabapple blossoms. Mother, help me pin this in. She adored Prince Jean. At once, my mother's anger softened, her tone turning indulgent. Yunshu is already so gentle and refined. Even without flowers, you are beautiful. Unlike your elder sister, who since the age of 10 has never brought ease to others, neither a proper daughter of a noble house, but more like a wild village girl. This was my mother. She cared nothing for why I had arrived late, nothing for why my maid had vanished and no one attended me, nothing for my safety or reputation. She only feared I might linger too long beside my betrothed, that he might feel a spark of affection for me. In her eyes, I was unworthy. Only Su Yunshu deserved such love. What a bitter jest. I said nothing, arms folded, watching mother's tender smile, Yunshu's docile play acting. Yunshu lowered her lashes, voice trembling with false modesty. Sister, may I borrow your maid Qingmo for a day? Her handiwork is fine, and Wanrong Manor has crabapple, peach, pear, azalea. I wish her to weave a garland. I gave no answer. At once her voice quivered, full of grievance. Yunshu was too presumptuous. How could I dare to covet sister's maid? After all, I am only an orphan. Auntie has already been too kind to me. My mother delighted in this act. She drew Yunshu into her arms, calling her tender names, coaxing her as though she were most pitiful. A rare smile blossomed on her face. Turning back to me, she grew stern. Do as Yunshu says. Not only a maid, even clothes, jewels, even a man, whatever Yunshu desires, I will grant her. Fools. They had no inkling of what had already happened today, nor the storms yet to come. Their hearts were set only on clawing higher, fastening themselves to power. So be it. I would fulfill their sweet show of motherly and sisterly affection. I plucked several blossoms, weaving a wreath deftly with my own hands. It was I who had taught Qingmo this skill. Yunshu is so lovely. Today, let elder sister make for you the finest wreath, let us see which fortunate young lord is worthy to wed such a radiant flower. I bent my knees, bowing in the manner of a servant before mistress. Yunshu's lips curved with triumph. Then I must trouble sister. After 3 rounds of wine, the east wind turned gentle. Guests, merry with drink, drifted apart in 2s and 3s. Su Yunshu insisted on walking by the lake. Spring damp hung in the air, moss had already spread across the lakeside stones. My mother fretted. Be careful not to slip. Yes, mother, Yunshu understands. She lifted her skirts delicately, treading the moss-covered stones toward the young reeds. Onion, go with your sister. My mother would not soil her shoes with the mud of the shore. From afar she watched me, eyes filled with censure. You claim you wish to serve Yunshu, yet you cannot even keep proper watch. Do not blame me for strictness. The royal family's standards are harsher still. I only wish you to adapt early, one day you will understand my care. Empty words. I did not bother to answer. Looking ahead, beyond the reeds and over a shimmer of water stood a lakeside pavilion, silk curtains fluttering. From it drifted strains of flute and zither, the recitation of poetry. Prince Jean sat above the gathering, violet gold robes gleaming like a rare orchid in full bloom, aloof, splendid, dazzling in spring light. What Yunshu sought was not the lake's breeze, but the imperial wind of the royal house. Sunlight filtered through, scattering gold and jade across her face. Her pale features, feigning innocence, shone radiant. To listen to music across water was a refined delight. To behold a beauty through the waves, an even greater pleasure. From the pavilion, several gazes drifted across, fastening upon her glowing face. Yunshu's smile deepened, her voice honeyed. "Sister, hurry." Through the drifting silk curtain, Prince Jin's brows moved, a subtle frown. Our eyes met across the water. I inclined my head lightly, reassuring him. He raised his cup, lifting it in a toast from afar. Su Yunshu's eyes sparkled brighter, mistaking his gesture for favor. Quietly, she pulled a crabapple blossom from her hair, loosening her coiffure. The spring breeze teased her locks, making her seem naturally graceful, as though touched by heaven's hand. A woman born with beauty often believes it her fate to trade it for a better life, as if only thus could she honor what heaven gave her. I stepped forward. In my past life, this moment never came to pass. I remembered only that after the feast, my mother held Su Yunshu, both laughing in smug contentment. But this time, something had shifted. A hidden danger, alluring yet unknown, hung in the air. Yet I did not fear. For the greatest upheaval of all was already within me, my rebirth. The moss beneath my feet grew more treacherous in the wavering light. Su Yunshu's smile flickered, bright when turned toward the pavilion, shadowed when cast upon me. Her eyes brimmed with mockery, her voice low as a whisper. "Elder sister, since childhood your life has been smooth as silk, adorned like this garland, fine, splendid, and unblemished. And what of me? I have beauty and talent no less than yours, perhaps more beloved than you. Yet why must I be fated to marry a poor scholar and share his hardships, while you may ascend into the royal family and enjoy riches for life? Am I not worthy?" Her voice was sweet, but her gaze was ice. "No, sister, it is you who are unworthy. This garland, however dazzling, I can tear apart with my own hands." As she spoke, her fingers closed around the jade pendant at my waist. She stepped back, inch by inch, embroidered shoes brushing against the moss-covered edge. Her smile vanished. She turned her head, replacing it with a mask of weeping despair, and cried toward the pavilion. "Sister, don't push me. Yunshu won't anger you again. Ah, mother, save me." With a sudden tug, she wrenched the pendant from me, tilted back her head, and hurled herself into the water. I stood rooted in place, ears ringing. Behind me came my mother's frantic steps and her wailing plea. "Your Highness, save my daughter." She darted across the slick stones like a fired cannonball, shoving me into the lake as well. "Your Highness, please, save Onion. She is your betrothed, no other man must touch her." Ah yes, the one who wore the garland was her. I knew how to swim. So I did not panic. But my mother's words cut colder than the spring lake. The girl who had worn the garland was not me, it was Su Yunshu. Prince Jin pulled me from the water, shielding my face with his cloak. At once, my mother wailed, her shrill voice tearing the air, yet her eyes gleamed with delight. "Yunshu, Yunshu, let mother see you." "Oh, my sweet child, how fortunate His Highness saved you." But when the cloak was lifted, it was my face revealed, smiling coldly. I spoke each word with clarity. "Mother, Yunshu is still in the lake." There, in the frothing waters beneath the willow, Su Yunshu surfaced, pale as lotus petals, hair streaming with weeds. Even her fall into the lake was staged with precision, garland, dark tresses, delicate face, like a red carp thrashing in the current. My mother's face blanched, yet her feet would not touch the water. Rooted to the earth, she only cried louder for aid, unwilling to move. The water was too cold. "Your Highness, please save Yunshu. She is frail, she cannot last." Prince Jin tightened the cloak about me, his voice steady and low. "Madam Su, Onion has just fallen in. Summoning the imperial physician is what matters now. As for Miss Su, she is a daughter of Riverlands, skilled in swimming. Onion speaks true. Her reputation is precious, no one may touch her, nor look upon her." That is this prince's command. My mother's face twisted, yet she stepped forward, protesting. Onion aired. She pushed Yunshu into the water. How can she walk free now? Prince Jean halted, holding me in his arms, his voice colder still. This prince saw with his own eyes. It was Miss Su who pushed Onion. The wind was strong, madam, you must have mistaken it. Power was a spell that bent all tongues. With a single word, he sealed the matter. None dared dispute him. My mother's lips trembled as if to speak again, but I merely said lightly. Mother, Yunshu has climbed ashore, will you not go to her? On the bank stood a sodden figure, hair plastered with weeds, voice dripping misery. Mother. Gone was her gentle, docile mask, only disheveled disgrace remained. The softness that once drew admiration now seemed nothing but farce. Already, whispers spread among noble daughters, glances exchanged between men, snakes slithering into my mother's ears. Her complexion darkened to ash, teeth clattering faintly. She prized face above all else. Her gaze on Su Yunshu now was the same she once turned on me when I was 10, still carrying a trace of tenderness, yet already threaded with disgust, strands of spider silk choking all remnants of love. Only loathing remained. I bowed to Prince Jean. Without your highness, today could not have passed so smoothly. This grace, I will remember all my life. He raised a bowl of steaming ginger tea, his eyes shadowed, voice slow, like telling an old story. I was born in Xuantai Temple, raised among common folk in Liaodong. I have seen the people's suffering. Miss Su must have heard of it. I am not a princeling born to silk and jade. I do not delight in endless concubines. The wife I wed is the wife I choose. Husband and wife are one body, I will treasure you and treat you well. I froze. First, for I was raised within boudoirs of the capital, while he grew amid snowfields of the frontier. Between us lay endless forests, fields of white, even carrier pigeons could not bridge the distance. We had never known one another. Second, the Su family, though noble, were but scholars. No soldiers, no renown in the empire. Why, then, had he chosen me? Steam rose from the ginger tea, mist curling about him. His voice lingered in the air, gentle and unwavering. That year in Liaodong, snow fell heavy, 3 feet deep. Countless soldiers froze to death. Of all the silver and supplies donated by the noble families in the capital, scarcely a tenth ever reached the front. The dead piled high before the city gates, their frozen corpses stacked taller than the walls. At that time I, together with Qing Di and my younger sisters, was nearly frozen as well. My body felt as though it burned, slipping into delirium. At the brink of death, a carriage appeared on the street, handing out bundles of charcoal to each household. Just a small sack, but the faint blue flame it gave saved us, pulling us back from the abyss. That bag of charcoal preserved my family's lives. It had come from a young lady surnamed Su in the capital, who spent her New Year's gift money to buy it, sending her servants all the way to Liaodong to deliver it by hand. Miss Su, Prince Jean murmured, you once saved the life of Chu Zhanlu. His face, always cold and difficult to read, softened at last with a trace of human warmth. Gold still glimmered on his sleeves, his violet robe remained regal, but his eyes no longer seemed remote, high above like clouds of the ninth heaven. Instead, he looked like the gentle youth of Liaodong. The youth of Liaodong, Chu Zhanlu, repaying with his life today. Yet that donation had not been some fleeting whim of mine. Since the age of 6, each year I had used my New Year's gift money to buy padded coats and charcoal, sending servants myself to distribute them at the bitter frontier, afraid they might be stolen along the way. My mother and Su Yunshu had once laughed at me. Fool. If you want reputation, this is not the way. You must donate in the capital, present it before the royal family, gift it to the princesses. Only then will people know the Su family's daughter is kind and virtuous. Only then will your future shine. I never listened. For this, my mother despised me further. But I never sought a name. All I wished was to wrest a few lives back from the merciless world. That alone was enough. You are much like one of my younger sisters, Chu Zhanlu said, trapped within the boudoir, yet holding the world in her heart. Onion, you are such a person. To marry you is not. On the road back to the residence, I refused to let Chu Zhanlu accompany me, only asking for several guards to apprehend the beggar who had trailed us. Meanwhile, my mother and Su Yunshu remained in the side chamber of Wanrong Manor, weeping. Mother, I only followed what others urged me to do, Su Yunshu sobbed. But no one came to save me. I suffered not only the cold but swallowed my humiliation whole. Mother, what should I do in the future? She clung to my mother's sleeve, tears streaming. But my mother's body stiffened. With a sharp motion she pulled her hand away, brushing her sleeve clean. Her voice was icier than ever. It is because you lack ability. How many chances have I given you? Each time Prince Jean sent invitations, I forbade your elder sister and arranged for you instead, flower lanterns, polo matches, spring outings, boat rides. Yet not once did you catch his eye. You lack grace, you cannot hold a man's heart. All my schemes have been wasted. After all, you are not my flesh and blood. How could you compare to your sister? Never before had my mother spoken so harshly to Su Yunshu. Su Yunshu froze, lifting her tear-streaked face in shock, only to meet eyes of frozen steel, all softness stripped away, replaced by a chilling malice. There was no tenderness left. I must go see Onion, my mother said. Don't go. Mother, in my heart you have always been my true mother, don't abandon me. Su Yunshu clutched at her, desperate. Such pulling and grabbing, what decorum is this? Let go of me. You have not even the bearing of a proper daughter after all my teaching. The more she clung, the more ungraceful she appeared, and the deeper my mother's disgust grew. Their quarrel escalated. Rip. Su Yunshu tore her sleeve. My mother trembled with rage. You, vile. At last, Su Yunshu snapped, shouting. Aunt, what is wrong with you? Am I not what you made me? Every step I took was by your hand, your indulgence, your urging. If not for you, how would a foster girl like me dare vie for my sister's betrothed? You told me I resembled you, that I was fit to wed into the royal house, more than her. Silence. My mother, struck by truth, raised her hand and slapped her hard. Blood welled at Su Yunshu's lip as she tumbled onto the bed, eyes burning with hatred. You will not ruin me. My marriage, you will secure it for me. If not to Prince Jean, then at least into a duke's house. Whether principal wife or concubine, you will find a way. If you do not, I will tell father, I will tell sister everything you have done. My mother's face turned green, then pale. You ungrateful wretch. Moments later, the two were locked in furious blows. Su Yunshu was younger, stronger, her crimson nails clawed into mother's coiffure, 10 fingers wrenching so hard that mother ground her teeth against the pain, her elbow driving into Yunshu's chest. The two wrestled, locked in their own vicious struggle. I could not help a quiet laugh, then softly ordered my maid. Go inform Princess Pingning. Tell her Madame Su wishes to bid her farewell in person. Ask the princess to come to the side chamber. A spectacle like this, why should I alone enjoy it? Pleasure shared was better than pleasure kept. Mother and Su Yunshu, both worshippers of face and name, let us see which one proves more ruthless, which one wins the upper hand. Their false mother-daughter bond had long since reached its end. Come. Back to the estate, I said lightly. This uproar had been enough, greater entertainments awaited me at home. The atmosphere in Su Manor was strange. Servants hurried back and forth, carrying out every piece of my belongings from my courtyard. What is the meaning of this? I asked. One by one they stammered. Master said the young Mrs. quarters are to be renovated. You must move into a spare room for now. The same excuse. The same as in my last life. My good father, Lord Su, never meant to let me pass even one day in peace. He had long prepared for this, waiting only for the imperial edict of annulment. Once it came, he would cast me out of Su Manor, handing my rooms to another. Another, Ching Mo. I should have thought of this sooner. Since childhood, father had drilled it into me. A personal maid is family to you. When you marry, she will be your only true sister, the only one you can trust. The entire Su household bears another surname, only your maid will save you in peril. Your maid, Ching Mo, is loyal and filial. Treat her well, and she will devote herself to you. You are mistress, be kinder to your maid. Instead of donating silks and jewels to the border, give them to her. At least then she will serve you faithfully. He even brought a painter to teach me and Ching Mo together. Do not tell your mother, he warned, else she will cry again, demanding you treat Su Yunshu as a daughter of her own. A woman of another clan can never be trusted. Only Ching Mo is reliable. Su Yunshu was an outsider, he did not trust her. He trusted only me and Ching Mo. Yet what was Ching Mo? Nothing more than his own hidden child. Father and mother, each with their secret affections, their selfish schemes, would gladly tear me into pieces to nourish the ones they cherished most. Such painstaking cruelty. Such pitiful, twisted love of parents. The study door burst open with a crash, a porcelain vase shattering to shards upon the floor. My father, Lord Su, startled, lifted his head from his book, anger flaring across his face. Absurd. What is this nonsense? I smiled, calm and cold. Father, your daughter brings you a great gift. Lord Su, seasoned official though he was, kept his features steady, but his fingers gripped the brush tight. Onion, I do not understand your words. Where is your maid Ching Mo? Why is she not attending you? His eyes darted around, searching, but her figure was nowhere. Unease began to creep in. Where is Ching Mo? I told you, you must not punish servants lightly. A master must be benevolent, treat her maid with kindness. Only thus will they remain loyal and true. I laughed, a blade of ice in the sound. My loyal, true Ching Mo has already gone to die in my stead. By father's teaching, is that not the most glorious death she could have? The brush slipped from his hand, ink splattering my gown in a dark stain. You unfilial girl, what have you done? His face drained white with fury. The guards dragged in a filthy beggar, kicking him to his knees before us. Master, save me! He cried. Interrogation had already been done. The truth was clear, my own father, Lord Su, stood behind it all. He had plotted to destroy my reputation in a single night, cast me into a convent, and immediately bring Ching Mo, his illegitimate daughter, into the household, presenting her as the sole daughter of the Su household, to be married into the royal family. Blinded by favoritism, he had not thought it through. Did he forget? My name and Ching Mo's were tied together. If I fell in disgrace, how could she remain untouched? Forget the royal family, no noble house, not even common folk, would marry the daughter of Su. He despised my mother. And she, in turn, loathed him. For decades they had lived beneath the same roof, their marriage nothing but a hollow shell. At the end of it all, they sought to heap their hatred upon me. Two fools, wounding others, only to wound themselves. Yet their blood runs in my veins. It stains me like ink spilled upon silk, seeping into every thread, impossible to wash away. How loathsome. Lord Su kicked a beggar sprawling, then staggered back, collapsing into a pearwood chair. The icy glint in his eyes was no longer concealed. You and your mother, he said coldly, are both venom at the core. Your mother caused the death of Ching Mo's mother, and you killed Ching Mo herself. He gave a bitter laugh, seized a jade paperweight in the shape of a lion, and hurled it at me. You and your mother deserve to die. I turned aside. The jade lion struck not me, but Ching Mo, who had just been led in by the guards. It smashed against her face with a sickening crack. She fell, shrieking in agony, blood gushing forth in torrents, her body sprawling upon the floor. Life or death uncertain. Only the blood kept flowing, like the floodwaters of years past, rushing onward, never to return. Lord Su let out a howl of grief, throwing himself upon her. Xian Yang, forgive me. At 15, Lord Su had first met Xian Yang, also 15. She sold wine by the riverbank, her delicate hands peeling fresh oranges. With but a glance, she lodged herself forever in the young scholar's. He cast aside the scented sachets she embroidered, spurned her eager invitations, smashed the little clay rabbits she molded by hand, each day drowning deeper in Xian Yang's tenderness. Yet the little hare noticed the traces. She followed them to the wine shop and beheld with her own eyes their heated embrace. For the first time, her carefree smile faded. She did not intrude, did not cry aloud, only went weeping to the Sioux elders. "My man has been seduced. Please, come to the wine shop." The Sioux clan stormed in with a crowd, dragged Xian Yang, naked, humiliated, into a brothel. That year, Lord Sioux wept until his heart broke. He did not hate the elders who sundered his bond. He hated only the little hare who betrayed him. Still, he married her. But he never once gave her a smile, never ceased his daily scorn, never touched her. He vowed to punish her with a lifetime of coldness. Desperate, the little hare slipped him a drug one night, forcing a single union. From it, I was born. He despised her all the more, loathing her for defiling his body and heart. With cunning schemes, he forged false evidence, ruined her entire family, and through cruel design brought about the death of Su Yunshu's parents. My mother wept until she fainted, again and again. And Lord Su was satisfied. Heaven pitied him, he met Xian Yang once more. Their old love rekindled, they had a daughter, Qing Mo. But Xian Yang's health was frail. She died soon after, leaving behind the innocent child. Unable to abandon his pearl, he smuggled Qing Mo into the estate, disguising her as a servant girl. "Hush," he whispered, "father is playing a game with his good daughter. From now on, when others are near, you must not call me father, only master. Otherwise, like your mother, I will fly away, never by your side again." The child hooked her pinky with his, swearing forever. Under his shelter, Qing Mo grew into a lovely girl. She did not resemble Xian Yang, but her crescent eyes mirrored his own, and he adored her all the more. One drunken night, gazing at Xian Yang's portrait, he vowed his daughter would reclaim her rightful name. Then Qing Mo, shyly blushing, confessed, "Father, I truly love Prince Jean." In her, he saw himself of long ago, chasing an impossible love, ardent and sincere, enough to stir hearts. A plan formed. A sachet filled with lurid sketches of Su Onion passed through beggars' hands, spreading into every brothel of the capital. If the Su family could no longer offer a daughter, then he would adopt Qing Mo as his righteous child, wed her to Prince Jean, the man she adored. Beautiful, clever, spirited, if only her station were higher, she might even seize the throne of crown princess. Years ago, Xian Yang's chastity had been destroyed. Now, he would repay every wound. A flawless plan, revenge, restoration, and a daughter's happiness, all with one stroke. And if ever the truth unraveled, he would lay the blame upon Su Yunshu. Had she not longed to marry into the royal house herself? Had she not schemed to strike during the flower banquet? Everything was perfect. In my past life, save for Qing Mo's failure to wed into the palace, all else had gone according to his design. But heaven, perhaps, showed mercy, refusing to grant such a faithless man peace. And so, I was granted rebirth. Now Qing Mo was dead. Lord Su's blow had been too fierce. The jade lion pierced even the wooden floorboards, how could fragile flesh withstand it? Her face, the face that so resembled his, was crushed, nose shattered, cheek collapsed, shards of bone jutting out like pale reeds against the flood of crimson. He clutched his only daughter in his arms, lifted his face to the heavens, and wailed. "Sun Yang. Qing Mo, it was my fault. I brought ruin upon you both." At that very moment, my mother returned, and saw him weeping as if the sky itself were collapsing. When Lord Su caught sight of her, his eyes blazed with a hatred that could devour flesh. He roared. "Vile woman! You destroyed my life. The beast you bore has killed my daughter. You all deserve to die." His eyes, bloodshot, seized upon a jade paperweight. With a savage cry, he lunged at her, bringing it down toward her head. My mother, by instinct, shoved Su Yunshu aside. Not long ago, at Wanrong Manor, all had witnessed her and Su Yunshu quarreling, hair torn, ornaments scattered, image in tatters. Now, in her desperation, a scheme sparked in her mind. She suddenly fell to her knees, clutched Su Yunshu's legs, and cried. Yunshu fell into the water and was possessed by evil. Someone help me tie her down. Once again, by smearing another, she cleansed herself. Bound tightly, Su Yunshu could not move. The jade paperweight struck her body. A crisp crack of bone split the air, her scream was heartrending. Ah! My mother's body trembled. Yet swiftly, she recovered her poise. She swept her gaze across the crowd and spoke solemnly. Husband, Qing Mo was struck dead by Yunshu's hand. As her aunt, I will not shield her. Punish her as you see fit. As for other matters, for the sake of your career and your name, they must not spread. Lord Su stood frozen, face smeared with blood. Long moments passed before he found his breath again. Gasping, trembling, he pointed at Su Yunshu, crumpled on the ground. Yes, yes. She is the ungrateful one, coveting Onian's betrothal, and in the quarrel, struck Qing Mo to death. My mother did not miss her cue, adding coldly. She fell into the water and lost her mind, perhaps seized by a wandering ghost, that is why she killed with the paperweight. This matter bears no mark upon the Su family's honor or discipline. Onion is to marry into the royal house, her name must remain unsullied. The more he listened, the more frenzied Lord Su became. His face twisted in madness, nodding again and again. Yes. 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 Onion can testify for us, can she not? Onion, you will, won't you? Husband and wife, truly a pair forged in hell. Their 4 eyes, murky with obsession, glared at me like specters. Coldness seeped through me as I watched their farce. I have already reported this matter to the authorities. Explain yourselves to the capital prefect. A master who kills a servant is guilty by law. Even if Lord Su acted in folly, punishment cannot be escaped. As for Madame Su, twisting truth to shield her kin, she is an accomplice. Both of you will face judgment. When the officials arrived, my parents resisted, shrieking like lunatics. Their crooked fingers clawed from the shackles like spider legs, thrashing wildly in the air. Su Onion! You killed us. Do you think you will still marry into the royal family? We should have strangled you at birth. Qing Mo, Yunshu, both better than you. Why is it not you who died? Their curses came like a flood, drowning the room. Marry into the royal family. Marry into the royal family. Marry into the royal family. In their hearts, there was nothing else. For it, they had driven themselves and their daughters into madness, dead, maimed, less than human, less than ghost. Even with shackles on their limbs, they did not repent. They were beyond pure. But I had no desperate wish to enter the royal house. I only wished to see truth laid bare beneath the sun, black as black, white as white. Whatever followed, I was ready to bear it across the long river of fate. Too much had happened in a single day. Zhanlu arrived on horseback. He too had heard the curses and the howls of my parents. He offered me a soft fur hat with rabbit ears, his voice gentle. Cover your ears. I shook my head. There are things one cannot avoid, cannot hide, cannot escape. Just as this marriage, after what befell the Su family, His Majesty would no longer view us as a match of equal standing. This time, I could not help but disappoint him. Jean-Luc cradled the little hat, as if holding a white kitten. In the last glow of dusk, his eyes shone like clear glazed glass, so bright one could not tell whether with joy or sorrow. I heard him laugh. In the falling dark, that laugh was like a filament of spring, trembling, spreading like wild grass in bloom. My heart stirred in chaos. By coincidence. He had just been stripped of his princely title, reduced to a mere commoner. Miss Su, he asked, would you still marry a man of the people such as I? The last rays of sunset faded. The horizon turned pale blue, deepening to indigo. Clouds above gleamed like 1,000 stars, scattering their light over the earth. It was spring. The air was damp with the fragrance of blossoms. Yet in the instant when sun fell and moon rose, 80,000 springs passed by. Flowers withered, flowers bloomed again, radiant and resplendent. The end.